So it's important to recognize that a percentage really is just a fraction. It's a ratio to 100. Okay? These things are all the same, and we should be able to express them in their various forms. So if I'm given a decimal of 0.65, well, 0.65 on a number line. Okay, so if I were to imagine that this is a number line of 0 to 1, 0.65 on my number line is going to be somewhere in there. Okay, so that's going to be 0.65. Okay, so we can think of it as 65% of that bar. Okay, so as a fraction, we can write this as 65 over 100, which should simplify. Well, if I divide by 5, I'm going to end up with 0. Sorry, this is going to be, not changing it to decimal, I'm going to divide by 5, so I'm going to end up with 13 out of 20 when I divide by 5. As a ratio, we can write it as 13 out of 20 or 65 out of 100. I'm going to use the reduced form of this ratio. 13 out of 20. Okay. As a percentage, the percentage is going to be fairly simple. I'm going to move that decimal over 2 places, so I get 65%. In a hundreds grid, I'm going to just fill out 65 pieces out of 100. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, and then 60, 65, that represents about 65%. 0.23, well, I know I'm going to use some benchmark fractions. I know it's close to a quarter, so that's going to be about a half. That's going to be about half of a half, so I'm going to be just a little bit less than that. So I'm going to say that that's about 0.23. We'll say that's 0 and 1. So it's 23 parts out of 100 if I want to be accurate. Okay, as a fraction, this is going to be 23 out of 100. Okay, 23 is a prime number, so they don't share any common factors here. So as a ratio, we can write this as 23 to 100. As a percentage, we just move that decimal point over 2 places and we get 23%. In our hundreds chart, we fill out 23 squares out of that 100 squares. Okay, so there's my 23% in the hundreds chart. 85%, we know it's going to be a little bit almost 90%. Okay, so let's say that that's about 0.85 on the number line. We'll say that's 1 and 0. Again, we want to have a visual reference of what this is going to look like. This is going to look like about 85% in there. Okay, as a fraction, it's going to be 85 out of 100. They share a common factor of 5. So I'm going to divide top and bottom by 5. Ratio, I'm going to write the lowest term ratio here. And as a percentage, we're just going to move that decimal over 0.2 places. So we get 85%. And in the fraction bar, so in the hundreds chart, I'm going to shade 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 full bars, and then I'm going to shade 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more. Okay, so that's what it looks like on a hundreds chart.